going to be a fairly quick. I think it'll be a first round submission.
And you're right. He is a heavy favourite in this fight. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he's got that fantastic record. He's got that great wrestling game. Adelina is really tough. I mean, this guy is. He's looking at reading his story, man. He's had a horrible upbringing, and he's one of those boys that's just been, just to get the heck out of the situation that he's in. He's found himself in MMA, but I don't think that really matters when you face a guy.
Saul said that he's been trained. I know he's a sort of South American. I'm not sure exactly where, but he's a South American. These guys are all tough, just by their genetics. Mm-hmm. But he's been training, according to Saul, he trains with Gegard Mousasi in his gym in Holland. So his striking should be pretty decent. I think he'll have picked up a tip or two over there if that's where he trains. But it's like anything else, striker versus a grappler. If you don't catch the guy in the chin with the first punch, you're going to the floor.
That's true.
And that's it.
That's true, sir. Paul, how do you rate Saul Rogers? As we said, he's a heavy favourite in this fight. Only one loss, that submission at hands of Shea Walsh. But do you expect nothing else but a victory for the Hangman?
Yep, I give Saul Rogers, as we were speaking about there, but a real shame for him not being in the UFC because he is exciting. Walked through the guys in tough. Artem Lobov in the final, I would be under no illusion he'd have beat him again.
Yeah.
But Saul Rogers can't see past him. And I agree with Tom. First round, goes to the ground, he takes him down and it's over. And even at the striking, I'd probably only tip Saul for that as well. It's not like he's not getting any stand-up. He's a really good stand-up fighter as well. He's the whole deal for me. So Saul Rogers, all the way.
And ACB, I think they announced that it's a multi-fight deal they've got Saul Rogers on, so good for them. It's obviously a guy, they're sort of hanging their hat on, particularly here in the UK. And if he gets off to a flyer, to a first-round finish, then, it's all paid off. Finally, Don, your thoughts. You get the final say. Who are you picking when Saul Rogers takes on Adelina?
Yeah, Saul's a great all-round fighter. He'll stand and strike all day, but he's also a really good grappler and strong on the ground. 7 of his 11 wins coming by submission. He uses his angles well on the feet, and on the ground he's tight and he'll smother guys. He'll just get down, hook you in, just get on top of you. Adelina, he's an aggressive fighter. He throws his punches and bunches, but he's got wide looping hooks. He swings them. He swings his hooks for the locker room. They're coming from miles away. And against a grappler, the shots either coming straight down the middle for Saul, or if he flings one of the big looping hooks, he's going to end up in his back pretty quickly. Yeah. And I see this being a first round finish for Saul.
There we go, guys. Well, gentlemen, it's our final part of the show, where we read questions and comments sent in to us from our social media pages at MartialArts Chat on Twitter, the same on Facebook. So at this time, guys, I'll remind you of the rules. Well, there's only one rule. You don't have to wait your turn. I'll just fire the questions at you, and it's up to you boys how you want to answer. Nothing censored. We're live. All is revealed. So if you're happy, gentlemen.
I said, is this going to be live?
We're on live, sir. We're on live.
This is like Super Scoreboard. It's the MMA phone-in. Hugh Keevins.
That's it. I should be holding my nose for my Hugh Keevins. I've not got the same moustache. Oh, he's not wearing the moustache these days. Let's see. So we'll start with we'll start with the Twitter questions first. I'm just trying to sieve through most of the nonsense. Let's start by at Jimmy3D0, who tweets, guys, what are the chances of UFC coming back to Scotland? Jimmy wants to know when the UFC is coming back to our beautiful country.
If our fighters win, it's 100%. They've said they want to come back. They've talked about how it's one of the best crowds in the world. It's like a no-brainer. But obviously, our fighters need to put together the wins to get folk interested.
Definitely, I see them coming back as well. There's been rumours. Stevie Ray dropped some rumour as well, and so did Whiteford mentioned something. So they're going to come back, and I imagine it's going to be at the start of the new year.
I agree with the guys there. They are looking to come back. What hasn't been good for that is Stevie and Joanne losing. They needed to win to get them back a wee bit sooner. I think initially they were hoping to come back at the end of this year, but that's obviously not happening. They will be back. I can see them being back the first quarter of next year. And Stevie, what we're looking for is Stevie on that card, Joanne on that card, and hopefully the debut of a certain guy that's on the other line. Yeah.
I'd love that. I don't know if you've seen, there's been a big social media thing about getting on the Belfast card.
Well, that
very good, and get a wee tune-up fight and then into the hydro to kick some dick.
That may be one of our questions later on, so we might come back to that one. Let's see. We've got George, one UFC fan, who tweets, "Hi panel, why are the Scottish fighters so shit in the UFC?" Sounds like George is having a go here, guys. He wants to know why the Scottish fighters aren't doing so well recently.
I think he might be one of my pals, or even make TV. I think it's just the fact that they're not the same level. Joanne Calderwood's fighting. She's fighting the best of the best in that division. She's obviously trying to make a run at getting that title shot. And I just think the people she's fighting against are just that wee bit ahead there. With regards to Stevie Ray, I thought he would have got the win last night. Really disappointed he didn't, because obviously it puts a bit of damper on him coming back to Scotland. Yeah. But Stevie's good, and Stevie's going to come back stronger than that.
Yeah, I think the guy that asked that question's been a bit unfair, to be honest. The guys in the UFC are no shit by any manner of means. Joanne is top, well, she was top 10 up until that last fight, but at one point she was a title contender. I think if she had the one in Poland, then she was headlining the Hydro for a title fight. I think that was the absolute plan to begin with. We all know the story why and what happened over in Poland, so that was unfortunate. But again, and I think if she beat Jessica Andrade there, she was getting the title fight, and that would have been the headliner again. Unfortunately, just fell short there. Andrade's a really tough. She might give Joanna Jędrzejczyk a run for her money, actually.
Yeah, she was pretty built.
I wouldn't bet against her for that belt, to be honest. So Joanne, as Paul said there, Joanne's in a tough division, and she's fighting the top girls in that division. So that's got to be taken into account. Stevie, he's 3-1. That's not really that bad either. No, you know, he's impressed in his first 3 fights. Last night was just super frustrating. The guy laying top of him, Stevie was right. Stevie needs to get back up and do something there, but we were looking for the referee to step in a wee bit, because there wasn't anything. Stevie came out, I don't even think he took a blow, you know what I mean? It was just just a really, really, really frustrating fight to watch, and must have been even worse for him to be in it. So I would discount that as well. Stevie will come back strong, and I think he's got a decent. Both of them have got a decent future in the UFC. So I think we're being a bit unfair to Scotty, the two guys in the UFC at the moment.
Fair play, guys. I'll move on by reading some more tweets. We have UK_UFC tweets by saying, "How come Paul Craig wasn't on this card?" I'm assuming he's meaning ACB. And will we ever see him in the UFC? #BearJew. Hey, go, Paul. He's wanting to know why you're not on this card on Saturday, and are you going to be fighting in the UFC anytime soon?
Well, I was asked to fight in this card, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but I'm still under contract to BAMA. So BAMA's still got me until November. We're trying to negotiate different stuff, and that's the reason why Belfast, I need to wait till I'm out of contract before I can actually go and do the legwork and actually go and speaking to these people. ACB, as I said, they wanted me. They said, Robert Whiteford's dodging every fight under the sun. We'll put you in the headlining spot. But you pick your opponent. And I was like, unfortunately, I can't do it. I'd love to do it. I'd love to walk out the Hydro. But no, it didn't happen like that. You know, it was just a year sitting sidelined is what I've got to wait for. Fair
play. At Bobby UFC Jim tweets by saying...
you're making these names up, so you're fucking terrible names.
Wait till you hear this. Well, we'll need to tweet this guy back, because wait till you hear this. He's saying, Rab Whiteford is a fanny, and I hope he gets KO'd, even though he's Scottish wee shite. I don't know what he's
That one definitely was Paul. That was Paul.
My bad grammar.
That wasn't even a question. That was just, well, thanks, mate. Anyway,
it's just a statement.
He's just letting us know. Okay, thanks for that.
Can I just jump back to that last question?
Oh, of course you can. Of course you can, Tom.
What the fella said there was, when are we going to see Paul in the UFC? I think the answer to that is very soon. It is the next place for Paul to be, I think. Hopefully the minute this BAMA contract expires, then there'll be a phone call. But I'll see Paul in the UFC within a matter of months, I would have thought.
Let's hope so.
That's my...
Just as you're on that, did you see somebody asked Stevie Ray that question? Do you see Paul getting to the UFC? And he says, a day, but he won't be there long.
Oh. Did he?
Aye.
He doesn't... see a long future for you, mate?
No, he doesn't. We don't see eye to eye anyway. I called him out for his scrounging ways. Going back a few years, maybe last year or something. Before he got to the UFC, I'd say, fucking get a hold of yourself, man, and conduct yourself in a better manner. And he doesn't like me. So even if I was the best fighter that ever walked the planet, he would have still said the exact same thing.
Excuse me, I'm trying to be professional here now.
What gym does he train in?
Tell me he's a grip house guy as well.
You might be.
Well, I've got a lot of love for higher level in grip house.
Oh, a few at your door any minute.
They've got a charity role, haven't they, John?
That cough's terrible of mine. Right, moving on, guys. Let's see. At We Ma Diva tweets saying, yeah. You couldn't make it up. I can't wait for hashtag UFC ACB 47, but tickets have rooked me for £128. Why so pricey? Are they priced the same way as what a UFC would be? I have no idea how much the stock.
No, I think sorry. When ACB put out the ticket prices, I thought they were priced very favourable. I think the cheapest ticket is £30.
That's reasonable.
35, is it? How many events can you go to? How many shows? How many anything in the Hydro is £35?
That's true. Yeah.
Probably almost nothing. Obviously, like any other event, the closer you get to the front, the price is going to go up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the full pricing structure, but if that is a ringside ticket,
it's got to be
fine. But you didn't have to buy a ringside ticket.
Yeah,
£30 is £35 if you say that's what it is more than reasonable for a show with 19 fights on it and 5 or 6 ex-UFC fighters on it. I think
the way the Hydro's laid out as well, it's you'll get a good view. £35 you'll be in with the atmosphere. It's not a bad deal. As you said, 19 fights. That's a crazy amount of fights. That's a £35. That's a good night out. And I think the top ticket was like 130 or something. Even that is not too bad if you're getting right down cage side.
Mm. I agree.
That's less than £2. A fight.
Sorry, maybe she's in a ring because she's hoping Robert Whiteford's going to win and he's going to jump in there.
I get a cuddle.
Paid that extra money to touch some Whiteford.
That's that cough playing up again. On. Okay, one more from Twitter and then we'll move on to Facebook, guys. At @just_Amy tweeted to say, "Hi guys, do you think ACB will be better than the UFC last year?" So they want to know if it's going to be a better show, guys.
I think it's going to be a different type of show. The UFC carries its own, like, they show, like, I've done press events at quite a few UFC shows and they're start to finish, like it's the same way. Everything's done on tight, like everything's to the wire. It's done really well. This is obviously, was it ATB's less show, more fights. I think it's going to be a constant stream of fights. Obviously, there's no going to be like Bruce Buffer there. Like, certain folk in the UFC, their characters, people go there and they expect them. This is just going to be a night, 19 guys beating the shit out of each other, and it's going to be a great night.
I think for
19 fights.
Fight for fight, I give ACB it, right. They maybe never had the middleweight champion fighting there before there was it. But fight for fight, I think it's a much better card. If you're a Scottish person, there's loads of Scottish guys you're going to be interested in seeing. Kieran Malone, Chris Bungard. So for me, ACB is a better show than what we had last year or 2 years ago in UFC.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to just recognise that we've got a major MMA promotion in the Hydro.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't really be sort of snobbish in terms of it's not the UFC, so it can't be sort of a brand snob. The fights on here, we've got 19 fights. It's one after the other. Yes, there's no Bruce Buffer entertaining you in between, but he's not fighting, so it doesn't really matter. It's just part of the show. Mm-hmm. But what we've got is we've got 4 or 5 ex-UFC fighters on it. We've got 6 of the 7 Scots are fighting English opponents. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
We've got some of Russia's finest on there. We've got guys that are coming through like Ryan Scope. With Norman Parke said he trains with him and he says that he's sort of beating up UFC quality guys. He said he is really, really good and he's wanting to watch on this fight. We've got the debuts of some of Scotland's best amateurs. We've got Callum Murray coming in. He's got 2 belts around his waist. I think this is a really, really well matched up card. And in terms of volume of fights, it is going to be one after the other. So the action is going to be there the whole time.
Yeah, UFC's got, like, it's a show, it's got the glamour, but ACB, they don't put on a bad show either. It's a great setup from watching their the streams on YouTube, and obviously the 19 fights. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and I just fight after fight, keep it moving.
Definitely,
100%.
guys.